You'd think after writing so many words that some of them would just pop as the perfect title. I'm gonna have a final draft for this project before I name it. I know, I type like a baboon. I'm working on it. 100,000 words. In the 6 weeks since I've restarted Operation Ark this summer, I've written over 100,000 words. To be precise, I've actually written around 108,000 words. This summer has been going so much better than I could have possibly imagined. For those of you who are new to my channel or new to this series, my name is Patrick Nyland, and this is the road to publishing my first novel. 6 weeks ago, I started working on my work in progress, Operation Ark, from scratch, and here we are 6 weeks later with over 100,000 words written in the first draft. For the most part, during these 6 weeks, I've been writing at a pace that's around 3,000 words per day. There have been a few days here and there where I've taken some time to work on different writing projects, but for the most part, I've been writing 3,000 words every single day. If that sounds like a lot, it is. Fortunately and unfortunately, I haven't found a job yet, so I've been spending all my free time working on my book. While it is a little frustrating that I haven't been able to start my career yet, it's been so amazing to be able to spend as much time as I possibly can just focusing on my writing aspirations. For the past 5 years while I was in college, that's something I just wasn't able to do. And while it would feel good to make some money, I'm glad that I'm not wasting all this free time that I have. On top of writing a ton of words this summer, I've also been focusing on developing better writing habits. That way, when I do hopefully eventually get a job, I can still be a productive writer. One of the major habits I've been working on is writing as soon as I wake up in the morning. For Camp NaNoWriMo July, I set a goal to write for 15 minutes every morning, every single day, and the results are really showing. On average, I'm getting around 400 words on the page before I even get out to brush my teeth. The biggest benefit I've noticed to writing in the morning, though, is it kind of motivates me to continue writing later in the day. This is so much better than my old morning routine, which was basically to scroll on Instagram for like 2 hours. After a good writing session, I love to come downstairs and play with Loki for a little bit. Just look at her, she's so adorable. Going downstairs and petting her for a bit also allows me to clear my head after a writing session. I'll normally break up the remaining writing I have to do for the day into 2 sessions. Sometimes when I'm really in the zone, I'll bang it all out in one session, but typically I like to break it up a little bit. Between those sessions, what I normally do is I end up making content for one of my social platforms. I know a lot of writers don't like the feeling of having to be active on social media, but me personally, I kind of enjoy social media a lot. Creating better posts and videos has become a huge passion of mine. Sometimes I find myself focusing so much on social media that I have to remind myself that the main goal is to be a published author. Chasing the views and honing in on what the algorithm likes can be exhausting, though, so it's definitely a balance. Creating content between writing sessions definitely helps me preserve that balance. Also, it certainly doesn't hurt that I have all the time in the world these days. Hopefully, when I do find a job and I have a lot less free time on my hands, I can still find a way to keep this balance. This is my beta fish, Anders. As you can see, she loves to hide. I've had her for over 3 years now, so for a beta fish, she's definitely an old lady. She still zips around the tank, though, when she feels like it. I get some concerned comments about her, especially in old videos. I assured you, I take very good care of her. There have been some algae issues in the tank in the past, but you see, we've done a good job cleaning that out. I've talked about it before, but a lot of the arcs in Operation Ark are actually conducting experiments on humans. And a lot of times when I mention that part of this project, I say genetic experiments, but that's not completely accurate because not all the experiments being conducted on these arcs are genetic. Another thing I explore in these stories is how humans will interact with different futuristic technologies. One of those future technologies is advanced AI. In a way, through these stories, I'm kind of exploring what our future as a species can be like. In this one story I'm currently writing, I'm exploring the idea of a space station where for hundreds of years AI did everything for the humans, and then all of a sudden that AI just shuts down. And now these humans who basically don't even know how to wipe their butts are stuck on a space station all alone. This is actually something I think of a lot because I think AI is a great tool, but I definitely think that some people rely on it too much to the point where it's more of a crutch. And I'm really hoping I can portray my message about that through this story. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'm really the best at subtly portraying messages in my stories. Let me know in the comments what you think about AI. Are you nervous about the future it can lead us down, or are you excited about it? On one hand, as a person looking for a job in the tech field as a computer engineer, I'm definitely concerned that this technology can take away thousands of jobs. On the other hand, as a computer engineer and a sci-fi author, I think it's really, really cool. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Also, while I'm at it, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to go dig into this story. Being almost 100,000 words into this project, the question that's bound to come up is, am I almost finished with the draft of Operation Ark? The answer to that is no. Now, don't get me wrong, Operation Ark title and progress is not going to be a 300,000 word book. I actually think if I have to guess right now, it's going to be around 100,000 words, 120,000 tops. And I know what you're probably thinking. I said before that I've written over 108,000 words for this project, so how can I not be finished if the project's supposed to be at max 120,000 words? The thing is, with Operation Ark being a series of separate but connected short stories about humans surviving the apocalypse on space stations, not all the short stories are going to make the cut for the final book. A good chunk of the stories in my draft have been experiments to see what works and what doesn't. And while a lot of them have worked really well, a lot of the other ones have not at all. So the question becomes, how many more words do I plan on writing before I'm done with this draft? There are 3 or 4 definite story ideas that I need to write that I've just been putting off, and then from there, it's pretty open. I could write those 4 stories and decide I'm done, or I could write another 100,000 words. To be honest, the more short stories I write for this project, the better, because then I can really pick and choose the best ones to include into the novel. Once I'm done, the next step in my writing process is to put the draft away and not even look at it for a month. I kind of like to do that to clear my head from all the ideas I had and really look at it when I edit it with a fresh perspective. So once I finish the draft, I won't look at Operation Ark for an entire month. Then from there, I think my plan is to pick my favorite 30 or so stories and then spend 1 week on each of them. I don't know, maybe a week's a little much. I'll play by ear. The point is, I want to focus some time on each individual story. And then once I think all the stories are good enough to really stand on their own, then I'll start assembling the novel. I also want to do that thing where before each short story, I want to write like one random line of lore that kind of tells like the story of what happened before the apocalypse. You know, like little Easter eggs that tell a bigger story when they're all put together. This is definitely a daunting first novel to attempt to publish, but I'm up for the challenge. I realize it might take a while and I'm not rushing it. But yeah, as of right now, that's the plan. We'll see how much that changes in 2 or so weeks. Or days for that matter. I'm always so bad at sticking to one plan for a book. It's honestly kind of a miracle that I've stayed on track this long for Operation Ark. I definitely think the key to my success for writing this draft for Operation Ark so far has been consistency. When I first started this vlog series 6 weeks ago, I was basically coming out of a writing slump. Those first few days were so difficult because I was so out of the flow. Since I first started this vlog series, however, I've basically just written a little bit every single day. And you know what? There have been exception days where it's been really, really tough to get words on the page, but in general, every day has kind of been easier than the last. After writing so consistently for over a month, writing is basically becoming a part of my daily routine. In the past, I've always had to put a lot of extra thought towards pushing myself to write. Recently, that push has just come instinctively. Even on the days where I don't really feel motivated to write, I feel motivated to keep my streak going. Now I'm picking up the habit of writing for 15 minutes as soon as I wake up in the morning. In the past, I've taken on daunting writing challenges, like trying to write 50,000 words in a week, trying to write 24,000 words in a day. And while I'm not going to give up doing those challenges for fun, I have a new appreciation for how powerful it is to just write consistently every single day. Writing just 15 minutes every single morning, I wrote 4,000 words in 10 days. Hopefully I can hold on to these good writing habits long after I complete Operation Ark. Thank you so much for watching this writing vlog. Have a great day and see you next week. I'm going to finish this writing vlog right with one last writing sprint.